Welcome to Apple Creek Cooking Channel. Hi, I'm Tanya Rose, certified natural nutritionist and culinary nutrition expert. Today, I'm going to be showing you how to make a quick and easy plant-based dinner recipe, Mexican black bean medley. But before I do that, let's talk about the importance of having a well-balanced diet. So to begin, I'm going to show you what your dinner plate should consist of. So take this, for instance, as a regular size dinner plate. This might be a little bit too big for some, but that's okay. So what you want to do, you want to divide your plate into half. And on one half, you are going to put your vegetables, whether it's your raw vegetables or your steamed vegetables, right? And you want that to be fully loaded with a lot of greens, right? So think about that. If you're not eating your greens now, you want to start incorporating your greens into your diet. Then on the other half, you want to divide it into two. You'll have your starch. You can have your brown rice, not white rice, brown rice. You can have quinoa. You can have your millet. You can have ground provisions if you're from the Caribbean. And in the other half, you're going to have your protein. And for today's protein, we'll be talking about black bean. So this is your dinner plate again. Half side, steamed vegetables or raw. Top side, protein or starch, or protein or starch, whichever way you want to look at it. But think about it. I know some of us, we pack our plates with a lot of starch, a lot of protein, and a little bit of vegetable. So we want to switch it around and then think about it. We are what we eat. So we want a lot of natural vegetables in our diet. So that's it for plating. Another thing is, we talked about on another episode, breakfast is the most important meal of the day. So our second heaviest meal should be our lunch/dinner. So a lot of people sometimes only have 2 meals a day. We want to space out our meals 5 hours apart. You might be like, what? Yes, 5 hours apart. So take, for instance, if you eat breakfast, say 8 o'clock. Let's count 5 hours. 9, 10, 11, 12, 1. So 1 o'clock should be your next meal. And that should be the second heaviest, which is your lunch/dinner. I know it might sound a bit weird, but trust me, it works. If you change up your lifestyle a little bit and change up your eating habits, because I know sometimes we eat our dinner late into the night and we don't want that anymore. We want to go to bed on an empty stomach. So we want to eat the second heaviest meal closer to the afternoon hours, right? And again, lunch is your protein, your starch, your vegetables. And we want to always end our meals with a handful of raw nuts. That's if you can eat nuts now. And when I say a handful, it's not open face, it's closed face turned down. So for me, take for instance, if I have almonds, I can have like 7 or 8. It will fit my hand. If you have a smaller hand, then you probably can only have 5. That's okay. But we're talking about including fats, and we're talking about healthy fats into our diet. And we know nuts is also brain food. So you want to incorporate your walnuts, your almonds, your cashews. And as I said, if you have a nut allergy, stay away from it. But if you can, eat your raw nuts and not too much. All right. So we're going to talk about some of the ingredients that we have today. So we're doing a black bean medley, Mexican black bean medley. So we have organic corn. And the reason is we're using organic is corn is genetically modified. And you might say, where do I get corn from? Check your freezer section in your grocery store, right? Make sure it's organic. If not, you're eating genetically modified food. Again, it's not good for your body. So try to do as organic as best as you can. Then we have onions. You know, onions is good for you, full of antioxidants, antiviral properties, you know, to help find inflammation into your body. A little bit of honey. You don't have to use honey if you don't want to. You can use your natural sweetener, maple syrup, agave, whatever you choose, you can use it. If you don't want it, leave it out. A little bit of green onions. We have some sweet peppers, and I'm using red and green today. You can mix it up if you like orange, if you like yellow, your choice. And then we have garlic, again, very good for high blood pressure. And then we have a mix of spices, where it's salt, a little bit of smoked paprika, a little bit of cumin, and cumin is a South Asian spice, and a little bit of veggie powder. Now we are going to our protein, black bean. Black bean is full, when I say full, of fiber. Some of us might be having constipation problem. Let me tell you, if you eat 3 meals a day, you should be going 3 times a day. You might be saying, what? Yes. If you're not, then you're backed up. You might want to check what you're eating or how you're eating. Black bean will help you to regulate. Or any beans, for instance, but black bean, powerhouse, right? Good source of iron. For a lot of ladies, we trouble with iron deficiency. You want to incorporate your black beans in. It also helps to build your immune system. It fights against, the pathogens that is going around right now. Eat healthy, right? It's rich in protein. It helps to heal and repair the body. A tip, when you're doing cooking any form of beans, you want to do batch cooking. So you want to buy your pack beans and you want to do them in the slow cooker, pack them into little packages and freeze them according to the size of your family. So when you're ready, you just grab it out of your freezer, good to go, it's already cooked. So all you want to do is just add your little bit of vegetables or whatever, you have a meal right there. If you cannot do cooking from scratch, if you have to buy anything in a tin, please make sure that the tin is BPA free, right? A lot of time we buy stuff in tins, not realizing the lining is not good for us. It's leaching out into our foods, especially if we use tin tomatoes. That's a no-no. We want to buy tomatoes in glasses, right? So that's for our beans. For our tomatoes, tomatoes are packed with vitamin C. If we know we can't do our little own gardening right now, we have to get it from the store. As I had mentioned before, you want to buy it in glass containers. Stay away from tins. And if you have to buy tin, BPA free. For our ladies, the BPA on the lining on the tin, it's a hormone disruptor. And because we know we have a lot of hormones raging in our body right now, on a monthly basis, or if you're perimenopause or whatever it is, you want to stay away from stuff, because guess what? It will escalate your hormone problems even more, right? It's full of antioxidants, it's anti-inflammatory. The only time I would suggest you not eat tomatoes if you are suffering from arthritis. As you know, it's part of the nightshade family. You want to stay away from that, leave it alone. If you eat it and it doesn't bother you, then you're fine. But if you eat it and you find that your body hurts you or your joints hurt, whatever it is, eliminate it out of your diet, right? Try to avoid canned tomatoes, as I had said before. They're very high in acid and they'll actually leach out the BPA into your food, okay? So now we'll take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll do the Mexican bean medley.
Look at this bountiful meal before me. Good food is essential for good health. But aside from food, what do you feed your soul? In this world, a lot of people have things that they think is building up their spiritual life, their meaning of life. But we know from just looking at the news that a lot of those things aren't working. There's more people suffering than ever before. How about you change your diet? How about you look into the Word? Hi, I'm Pastor Sean Ellis. On April 8th, we'll be doing a series called The Cure. This is the cure for the mind, body, and the soul. You're going to be hearing not about medications, not about diets, not about exercise, but the Word of God. There is something in there for you that you have not realized today, and it's going to be presented in a way that is going to be relevant to your situation in life right now. So I look forward to seeing you on April 8th, running to the 16th. It's called The Cure, and God does have a cure for your situation.
Welcome back. Here we are by the stove, ready to start cooking. So we want to start by turning on our fire to medium heat. We want to let the pan warm for a little bit. Remember, we're cooking without oil. We're just using a little tip of water. All right. So that's enough. So we're just going to put our onions in. And remember, try cooking with onions and garlic on a daily basis. And we just want to stir the onions around. We don't want it to stick to the pan. And if you find that there's a little bit of sticking, you just want to add a little bit of water. All right, and we're just going to stir the onions until they're a little bit translucent. That means see-through, and we're good to go. All right, so you can hear the sizzling happening. I just want to stir. And you don't want to have your fire too high or else the onion will start to burn or caramelize. We don't want that to happen. All right. So now we're going to add our garlic, finely chopped. And it's better to buy fresh garlic and chop yourselves instead of buying like the pre-crushed garlic, you know. So you want to have it, when you actually chop it, that's when the nutrients start to actually work for you. Versus when it's bought in the store, you know, the nutrient starts to work way before time. All right, so you just want to stir, stir, stir. And then we're going to add our spices. So we have pink Himalayan salt, a little bit of cumin, smoked paprika. And that gives it a little tinge of smokiness. Not a lot, just a tinge. And we just want to stir it around. And if you find it sticking or clumping up, we just add a little bit of water. Not too much. So we're releasing the natural flavors in the pan. And remember, cooking is fun. Like, you taste as you go along, and if you find out that you don't have enough ingredients, you just add more as you go along. More spices, not ingredients, spices. So you add your sweet peppers. So this recipe is packed with a lot of nutrients. Good for the body. Fiber, vitamin C, a lot of minerals, you name it, it's in this pot. All right. So once we have added our sweet peppers, we would let it cook for 2 minutes. You don't want water to start springing, right? So, and then we're going to add our tomatoes. So you can get fresh tomatoes if you have, chop them up and add them to the pot. If not, you can buy it at a store. And as I said, remember, in a glass container, not in a tin. All right. So at this time now is when you're going to turn your fire to high, because you want it to have a little bit of more heat so it can start boiling. So once your tomatoes are in, you're going to add your sweetener, your natural sweetener. If you don't want to add it, you don't have to add it. But it does take away some of the tartness from the tomato. So that's why we use it, right? Just stir it in. And then we go ahead and add our black beans. Keeps the body going. Doesn't that look good with the different colors? Remember, we eat with our eyes, you know, so the more colors you see, the more enticing it is. So we have the blacks, the red, the green, you name it, it's there. And then we're going to add our corn. And remember, organic corn, guys, organic corn. Look at that. Wow. Isn't that pretty? So once you have everything in, you'd let it simmer for about 5-10 minutes. It depends on your stove, right? And there you have it, a quick and easy dinner recipe. And all you have to do is prep in advance. When you come home from work, a busy day, you're tired, your ingredients are already prepped and in the fridge waiting for you. Boom, within 10 minutes, 15 minutes the most, and you have a fully cooked meal. And remember, your plate, half of it, steamed vegetables or raw vegetables, and then the other half, you have your starch, which is your brown rice, quinoa, millet, and then you have your black bean as your protein. All right? And we can just add some green onions, just to add some color again. And let it simmer. So once your pot starts to boil, you're just going to turn it down and let it simmer for about, as I said, 10 minutes. You're good to go. All right, guys, look at this. Look how pretty it is. Oh my goodness. Let's plate it and see. And again, we eat with our eyes. So you want to make it appealing, attractive. We want to make it tasty. And just a tip, if you wanted a thicker gravy, all you have to do is add a little bit of arrowroot powder, or we say flour, to it, and it will thicken it for you. All right, look at that. Tell me what you think. Wow, and it smells so good. So some tips before we close off today. Remember to eat a variety of foods, right? The more variety, the more natural nutrients you're getting, and it will keep your body going, fueling. You'll find that your energy level will be up. You find that you can think clearer, your skin will be glowing, and people are like, wow, right? Avoid excess salt, full of sodium, and we know that causes hypertension, or it will escalate people who have high blood pressure, right? Stay away from fats. We want to eat good, healthy fats. So we talked about our nuts, right? A handful, close fist of nuts. We stay away from processed sugars. And as best as we can, let's stay away from packaged foods, right? And when I say package, I mean like anything in a plastic, anything in tins as best as we can. We want to shop outside the perimeter of the supermarket. We don't want to go into the aisles because that's where they have a lot of processed stuff, and then that's when we find out when we start eating them, we become addicted, all right, because of the sugar content in them. Remember, always drink plenty of water throughout the day, right? We want to drink at least, based on your body weight, we divide that by 2, and that gives the amount of ounces that you're to drink on a daily basis. We do not drink and eat. We space out our drinking 2 hours after eating, or 20 to 30 minutes before eating. All right, that's the tip that I'll leave with you today. Thank you for watching Apple Creek Cooking Channel. If you like what you see, do not forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thank you so much for joining me. See you next time. Bye.